one of the things that business owners forget a lot is to prepare for their own retirement.
Hi, my name's Nick Palavita, and today I'm with a very special guest, a certified financial planner, a chartered retirement plan specialist, and president of National Pension Partners, Max Culiet. Max, tell me what you do at National Pension Partners.
Well, Nick, we help successful small businesses and professionals put together retirement plans that provide them the maximum retirement benefits and big tax deductions at the same time.
Well, how do you do this?
Well, we get on an internet conferencing system with the client. We review their goals, what they want to accomplish, and then put together strategies to help them in implementing a retirement plan that benefits them, not everybody else.
Well, that sounds really good, but how much does this cost?
Well, it's really not bad because the first consultation is free. That allows us to go through and discover whether this strategy works for that business and for you as the business owner and helping you maximize your retirement.
Well, Max, how do we get this free appointment?
It's really pretty simple, Nick. You can either go to our website below or call us at 877-252-1692, and then we can set up a time with either myself, Nick, or one of our other retirement plan specialists, another CPA or advisor in the office, to go over this with you and make sure it fits for you.
Hi, my name is Lewis Haupt. I work with National Pension Partners, and I work with businesses to allow them to put the maximum away that they can for themselves and to save taxes.
Hi, I'm Brad Coyle, and I'm the brokerage manager at National Pension Partners. We're always analyzing plan fund choices in order to ensure the participant's success.
If you want more information on how we can help you and your business put more money away in a retirement plan than you ever thought possible, contact us at the website below or call us at 877-252.
Welcome to National Pension Partners, where retirement planning meets peace of mind. Today, we're diving into the 412(e)(3 plan, also known as a fully insured pension plan. This isn't just any retirement plan. It's the gold standard for stability and guaranteed benefits. How does it work? Simple. It's funded exclusively by life insurance and annuity contracts. This means no market risks, no actuarial assumptions, just ironclad guarantees. Think of it like this. You're a small business owner who hates surprises. The 412(e)(3 plan gives you predictable, stable contributions every year. Your future benefits are backed by insurance contracts, so you know exactly what you're getting. No guesswork, no headaches. But there's more. These plans are designed to maximize your contributions and offer significant tax advantages. And with National Pension Partners, you're not just getting a plan, you're getting a team of experts, attorneys, CPAs, actuaries, all dedicated to making your retirement as secure as possible. We provide personalized consulting, ensuring that your plan is tailored to your specific needs. Best part, initial consultations and proposals are absolutely free. $0, zero commitment. So if you want a retirement plan that's as reliable as your morning coffee, head over to nationalpensions.com. With the 412(e)(3 plan, your future is in safe hands. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling. Perfect for small business owners who like their finances as predictable as Monday mornings. Stable contributions, ironclad guarantees, and serious tax advantages. It's the trifecta of financial security. And with National Pension Partners, you get a team of brainiacs, attorneys, CPAs, actuaries, ensuring your retirement is as secure as Fort Knox. Oh, did we mention the free consultations? That's right. You get a personalized expert proposal with $0 down. So, if you want a retirement plan that's as reliable as your morning coffee, head over to nationalpensions.com. Because when it comes to your future, boring is the new exciting. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling. For more details, check out National Pension Partners at nationalpensions.com. Retirement planning never sounded so thrilling.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the media show on the Pod TV network. I'm Nick Palavito. I'll be the moderator for today's show. And today we're going to be discussing medias and trends in the media. And with that, we're going to be bringing on a person who has 3 shows on the Pod TV network.
maybe soon to be 2 shows, and that's Sasha Starr. Sasha, welcome to the media show. And yeah, I had a good conference at NAFTE, which I thought was pretty interesting, and I did approach Fox, and right now we're in progress of moving maybe one of our shows over to Fox News, which would be very interesting to see the Ukraine show on Fox News, which I think you have a good message. But you know, these people are, it's all about the ratings, boy. You know, I mean, it's a different cat over there at Fox. However, at the same time, I've also been talking to the CEO of Newsmax, which just went public. And he's going through all of our, I guess he's going through all of our stuff right now, you know, because he wanted to know where we beam into. But we have a very interesting beaming system because of how the internet all connects, that we're able to, on one push of a button, go through all these distribution systems. But what people don't know is then you have to redistribute if you want to go on further. It's almost like you go to A through distribution A, but then if you redistribute, you go on further, and then the analytics are absolutely horrible. You know, streaming media is kind of a new concept. However, as you know, streaming media gets a lot of views, a lot of hits. And our newest one, and I told them about Rumble. We used to do on Rumble, but Rumble, you have to do it manually. And, you know, manually just doesn't work until our IT guys can get it where it goes automatic into Rumble. You're not going to download and upload your shows into Rumble. You can do it if you want to, Sasha. But I can tell you, because I did it before, it'll take you an hour per each show to download and upload into Rumble. And hence, because of that, I'm out. In other words, I don't care how good Rumble is. I'm just not going to sit at a computer and download the show into the computer, upload it into Rumble so we get to be on Rumble. I did it before for a little while, then I realized unless our IT guys can automatically stream into Rumble, forget it. I do redistribute shows because, like the chess shows, it goes to all these different little chess groups, okay, on Facebook, and Facebook's got tons of chess groups that watch this stuff.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, and by the way, that's the good news. So the thing is, they're consuming the chess show concept. Here's the bad news: Facebook gives no demographics back. In other words,
It's a big problem.
I just sit there and go, okay, so how many people saw it? I have no idea. You know, they're pretty bad on that. And here's the other thing they're bad on. When I do too much, they shut me down. I'm serious. In other words, I'll distribute to a lot of these groups, and all of a sudden, you've distributed too many. Goodbye. So
Horrible.
yeah, I know it is what. But they only shut you down for a little while. See, what they're trying to do is they have to keep you interested in putting product on their platform, but not so interested that you're using a lot of their platform. You see what I mean? Because Facebook doesn't produce any content. Think about it.
That's incredible business model when they don't have to create any content. It's all created by users. So this is unparalleled. It's incredible business model. But I want to tell you something very interesting. On Saturday, a very, very good friend of mine from school days in Odessa. I visited Odessa briefly in 1989. And I met him again after departing from Odessa in 75. I met him, and what's interesting is that his mother, of course, late mother by now, she was assisting Nava in the birth of our daughter. So we have a very, very interesting relationship. So he found me by incredibly complicated way. And finally, after I started to talk to him and we enjoyed our conversation, his PhD is microbiology and professor of University of Odessa, and he's retired a couple of years ago now, professor. And I asked him finally, how did you find me? How did you... how you were aware of me when I'm still existing? He said, from your show, Ukrainian China show.
Yeah.
You are watching the show in Odessa? He said, yeah, all the shows, and not only me, but all my friends are watching that. I was impressed. I couldn't believe that the show is being watched by people in Odessa. Remember, the show is in English. Of course, he knows English perfectly. So his friends, I would imagine. So if it would be also in Russian or Ukrainian, it would be even more popular there. But at least I got incredible evidence that show in its format is being watched, very popular, and they enjoy every show.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, we don't get any credit for it. So the thing is, I don't get the reports on how many people in Ukraine are actually watching it, which is really bad, and also which stream they're watching it for. Because remember, we go into a lot of different places. He could watch it on the web. He could watch it on Roku. He could watch it on Amazon Fire. He could watch it on Facebook. He can watch it on YouTube. He can watch it on, a bunch of different places we go to, Twitter, Twitch. I mean, and also groups, or even LinkedIn. So the real problem I always have, and there will be a solution someday, but right now there isn't. Vimeo used to give us good data, but now Vimeo is totally screwed up. And by the way, they can watch us on Vimeo, but it's just their whole platform is basically screwed up. But I do agree with you one thing: all the places we distribute through, they do not produce any content themselves. Okay, so we're not in competition because they need content and we make content, so we're not competitors. But they don't make up any content themselves. They rely on other people, which you're right, is a great business model, because then they get ad revenue, and they frankly don't do anything except provide a platform for distribution. So from their standpoint, it's pretty good. We also get our second largest group of people watching us, according to Vimeo, was Brazil. And so I did get a contact from Brazil wanting to move billions of dollars literally in the United States. I'm like, okay, you got to find out the legal aspects of doing it, because there's all these anti-money laundering acts. You got to fill out all these forms to make sure. I had to fill it out for moving money to Spain, to London, so I got some sterling, I've got some euros, a lot of euros, but I still have U.S. denomination dollars, and it affects me because a lot of my income comes in from U.S. into Spain. And now I get a hair clip of about 15% because of the exchange rate, which is really bad. But yeah, I've also been talking to the CEO of Newsmax. Now, Newsmax, I look through their financials and stuff, and I'm not the CEO, but if I was the CEO, I would replace some of their programming with lower cost effective programming. That's just me, so it would become profitable. Because one thing we have, Newsmax doesn't have. We have a very low cost operation. One thing Newsmax has that we don't have, they have a large revenue, high cost operation. You see what I mean? And what you really need to be profitable is a high revenue, low cost operation. Am I missing anything, Sasha?
Revenue.
Yeah, revenue. Well, we know that's what we're missing on our side of the table, revenue. But the reason he gets revenue is he distributes through cable.
Because the key to success in your case is keep low level production, low cost production, and start getting revenue and increasing the revenue. That would make you financially.
Killer. Yeah. But see, the thing is that they distribute through cable. Cable's dying, but cable pays to have products put on their platform. So from their standpoint, they have cable revenue, which we don't have, because none of these distribution source pays to have stuff on their platform. And if they do CPC, which is you get pennies for the dollar. And I mean, it's really bad.
What could work maybe in your case is you have a great number of different shows, different content, different areas.
Yeah.
So if you could attract advertisers for particular shows, And so they will not pay you as a whole network, say, Fox
Yeah.
TV. But they may be interested in, like Fox TV became interested in, particularly in Ukrainian show, right? Maybe some other company would take interest, for example, even in the modern investing. For example, they would. It could be a brokerage houses, it could be banks, it could be just all kind of different financial institutions, individuals who want to promote themselves, or so on. The only trick is to convince them of your the viewership. Let's see if you're saying modern investing. How many people on average are watching each show? And
Right.
you would have to provide that information. And if it's okay, they may provide some form of advertising. Let's say they will not pay you $500,000, but maybe they will be willing to pay $10,000, maybe $5,000 or
Yeah.
something. So it will be worthwhile for them to consider that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did look at that model. I mean, but here's my personal problem with that, Sasha. I have no experience as a advertising executive. We're selling advertising, and it looks like nobody in our group or extended group same, except some of our shows are supported by ads. Believe it or not, the Angry Geeks have their own set of advertising, so they're kind of
But we're an independent show, Nick, and everything.
Yeah,
is independent and
and
everything.
Grant
But we do
McGraw.
Grant McGraw.
Yeah, he has his own set of advertisers. So some of our shows actually have their advertisers. But for me personally, I don't understand that model. But what I do understand, and I have done, is I have sold a lot of insurance products, insurance and annuities. So a lot of them. I mean, millions of them every week. Go
But
through a company.
Nick,
So
one of the things that they're able to do is that they have specialty interests and everything like that. So Grant is in the space of hospitals, and he definitely is in Miami. So a lot of those people that you are seeing that are advertising with him are for-profit hospitals, and all along those lines.
He's a self-sufficient program, and so is the Angry Geeks. But what we're going to start is a program called Ask the Experts, which are basically a group of people that know how to sell insurance and financial products to solve problems that I know very little about, because I only do pensions, but they do long-term care products, they do special needs products, they do business planning products. I mean, the world is huge when it comes to financial service sales. But when people start asking me, well, what do you do about long-term care? I never sold a long-term care product, Sasha, even though it is an insurance-based product. Never sold one. Or what do you do about disability? I've never sold one. Well, maybe one in 40 years. I mean, so the thing is, I'm very unfamiliar with that territory. So Ask the Experts, I've got a whole group of people that are coming up from around the United States who are going to be part of our new TikTok license. Because TikTok has been generating us 3,000 to 20,000 people a show, which is much bigger demographics than we get. I mean, immediately without redistribution or other distribution. So we're going to start placing it on TikTok. I don't like the demographics of their viewership. That's just like everything. When you get a number, if you told me, hey, Nick, I got 20,000 people interested or 3,000 people interested in listening to long-term care, we're going to sell some long-term care products. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. The numbers are working in your favor. So in some cases, one show can carry, or a couple of shows can carry the whole network. The other thing we're working on is the World Talent Show. I already got the website, but that's a project that's going to take a while to get up to the ground.
They've already launched a test run, because he actually sent me the video. It's actually running, but it's different than what you had in mind. It is more of a
who launched the test run on the World Talent Show.
Sharif ran it. He ran it on his own. He had 5 people, but it was more like a pitch show than a talent show. It was more like him having people pitch their businesses, and he ran it. I think he ran it on his network, but it'll probably run on ours on Tuesday, and it's called the Global Talent Show. But Global
Talent Show. Yeah, he's doing more business. Ours is going to be basically entertainment. the World Talent Show on
And that's what he
entertainment.
called it, was I think the Global Talent Show, but it was more like a business pitch, and he had one guy from California, a couple people from Asia, a couple people from other places, but it was more like a pitch contest than a actual.
Yeah, all I did in entertainment, it was called the World Talent. I even got the URL, worldtalentshow.com or something like that. I'll have to go look at what URL I got. It was on Google, but I have a URL.com on worldtalentshow.com. So we'll be able to do a website on that. And see, here's the thing. It's just like if you did what do they call it, a startup. Most startups fail, but startups are very intense. You put a lot of money, time, effort into it, and it fails. In TV, you can actually do it very inexpensive, and you need one winner, just like in you basically need one winner. It's almost like a startup, but you need one winner, and you're going to have a lot of losers. So you just
By the way, if Sasha goes to Fox, because I was just looking up this thing called US TVDB, and it lists all of them. If he makes it to Fox, he will be part of the #1 most popular channel on television. It's watched by a total number of 2,575,000 people, and that's actually down 14% from yesterday during prime time, but it is still the #1 station, and all along those lines. So we get that shift.
2 million people over what period of time, Counselor?
Say what?
2 million people over what period of time?
Let me see what they say about that, because I think that was.
I've learned to be very specific in the demographics, because the industry is based on non-transparency.
It says watched by a total number of 2,575,000 people, down 14% from yesterday. So that means that was daily.
Is the 2 million for one show, or is it for all their shows in 24 hours?
I think it's all the shows for the day, because it says down from yesterday. So this is their daily.
So then you have to divide it. How many numbers of shows do they have? What are they running? 24 shows? So you're talking about a couple of 100,000. That's it. See, the industry is very misleading when it comes to viewership, Sasha. Very misleading. Intentionally. And that's part of the reason it's hard to get demographics. I believe they don't want people to know the demographics. They want the advertisers to trust them, put their money in, and make the game go good.
Well, let's take by your thoughts and everything. Let's just take a look at another channel, which would be probably closer to us and everything like that. It's something called the Cowboy Channel, formerly known as Family Net until July 1st, 2017. And it's a television station that was launched in 1979 as the National Christian Network. Cowboy Channel is currently the 110th most popular channel on TV, watched by a total number of 15,000 people, down 48% from last quarter during prime time. So they only average about 15,000 people in their watching and everything. So we're probably close, if not better than them, as of the average quarterly audience measurement for the period ending June 30th, 2025. So this ended just last week and everything like that. So the Cowboy Channel apparently gets about 15,000 people.
15,000 for a day?
I think that's per day.
So you're telling me that they can be ranked in the top 100, basically.
They're 110. They're 110
with 15,000 viewers.
That's what I'm telling you. The Cooking Channel, and I'll look up the Cooking Channel. The Cooking Channel, formerly known as the Fine Living Network until May 31st, 2010, is a television channel in the United States, launched on August 21st, 2002. The Cooking Channel is currently the 84th most popular channel on TV, watched by a total number of 46,000 people, down 12% from last quarter. So it looks like this is done quarterly during prime time, as of the average quarterly audience measurement for the period ending June 30th. So it's probably during prime time, which would be like, in the evening time and all along those lines. So the Cooking Channel is up there as well. And like I said,
you're discussing what I call niche channels. And the thing is, the problem with, this is just my opinion, the problem with niche channels, there's good and bad. Good, you get your niche audience. Bad, you miss all the people outside your niche, which is bigger than your niche. So, they can do that, and that's fine, but they limited their own growth. And the same problem that you have with Fox News and Fox Global. By the way, Fox Google must be their new thing. They were.
They have several Foxes, just like there's several NBCs. There's
Well, by the way, that's a good strategy because then they can take more space that way. But if you think about it from another perspective, Sasha, Ukraine is a fairly big country. Well, they have about 90 million people. I mean,
Presently, it used to, before the war, it was about 40 million people.
40
Now
million.
it's
Okay.
less than 30.
Right. Right. Okay. But the thing is, if you want to get into with 40 million people, because someday the war will be over, and if you want to get entrenched now with the 40 million people, they should pick up your show. I'm serious, because it gives them a foothold on a marketplace that has 40 million, and for my demographics, actually has pretty good economic numbers. And for my demographics, it looks like when this thing's over, they'll become part of the EU, because the EU, it's just the nature of the beast. You know, the EU wants to.
By the way, this Ukrainian show people are watching in Poland, in Latvia, and in the Czech Republic, just by my own experience.
Yeah, you talk to them, they're watching the Ukraine show. I know, and that, like, so that's the sad part is that I know we have, see, when I said we had 2.3 million viewers, that's verifiable by Vimeo in 2023. In other words, I got that down. Okay, we could have more, we won't have less, but I can't get the data from them. So that's the reason I'll say, hey, we have 5 million viewers. I have no clue, because the only thing I can verify is 2.3 million viewers. And that's it.
Tell me, are any of my shows are on TikTok?
The answer is yes or no.
Yes.
How does a show get on TikTok, Mark?
I put it on TikTok because I get good.
Well, you have a friend out there that's putting it on TikTok, because I can tell you, yours truly has played with that software, and I have not been able to master their software yet.
One more question. What
So you do
about advertisements? Is it possible to find to outsource it to somebody who is experienced in advertising? What percentage of it? I remember that many years ago, Canadian Chess Federation asked me if I could be that they would outsource to me the advertising revenue for chess in Canada, and they asked me what would be my percentage of whatever I sold. I told them 85%. So whatever I sell, 85% would go to me, and 15% would go to Chess Federation, because they have no expenses, they have nothing. So
did they go for that deal?
No, we didn't sign the deal. No, but that was one of the conditions.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the answer is yes, and we've actually tried to get somebody to be a moderator for TikTok, but this person is so bloody busy that we've not been able to hire her. I mean, seriously. So the real problem we have is this, kind of interesting. When somebody becomes successful in the media, it's hard to hire. You know, it's just the nature of the beast. They're next to impossible to hire. And then the people who don't know what they're doing, they're easy to hire. So, but I don't need somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. I need somebody who knows what they're doing. So as soon as you find that person, let me know, Sasha, because I'm telling you, it's like my industry back there. We hired finally 2 young associates who just are working in Salt Lake. But hiring in Salt Lake is a hard problem. And hiring people that are specialized in certain areas, that's the reason when he says the unemployment's 4.1, I can tell you it is very difficult. I had to work with Max for a year to finally be able to hire somebody. So when you're looking for, and this is one reason we're looking for a skill set like that, remember that those people that come to you say, oh yeah, I know how to distribute all this stuff. Okay, how do you find them? They're next to impossible to find. They didn't learn it in school. They had to learn it on their own. You see what I mean? And then they say, okay, I can do this type of work for you. I put ads out for those type of people. It's like next to impossible to find them. So this one reason I don't have much sympathy for all these people who are crying, oh, I lost my job. There's plenty of jobs out there. You just got to figure out what the need is. And yes, there's plenty of media jobs, but a lot of people they don't want to do the homework to learn how to do it, and it takes a lot of work, and it's a specialized skill. It's the same thing in my industry. I need to hire people that have specialized skills, and look, or they have to go to Salt Lake and be trained. And the minute I say, okay, you got to go to Salt Lake, oh, I don't want to do it. I want to do it from home. Then forget it, because you don't have the skills. I'm not about letting you sit at home and collect a paycheck and not know anything and not do anything. So, oh, well, then I'll just stay home. Fine, goodbye. I mean, I'll tell you, and this is something I've talked to people. I hire a lot of people, and I've had hundreds of employees. And unless you're an employee, you don't know what it's like to deal with an employee. Seriously, they're a different cat, and the pay doesn't seem to matter. I think our pay scale goes from like 30 to 120,000 a year. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's something, But finding somebody who can fill those $120,000 a year jobs, tough. They don't have
those skills and everything like that. We've got Rick with us, and Rick has got a new show that he's looking at doing, and I got to figure out when he and JD are going to do it, but it's going to be dealing with AI, so he'll have two shows because he's always part of the new show, and then, of course, he's got Naked at Night, which is due for another recording. But when are we going to do this AI show?
All right, I don't know when we're going to do the AI, but Naked at Night, I think next Sunday, 6 days from now. I think we got to hire a bikini girl, a bikini TikTok girl who just like dances in the background. A woman, not an actual girl, but a grown woman, but puts on swimwear and just dances. We've had trouble in the past casting that part, but if we're going to get viewers, we need,
that is one thing that's true. Attractive people attracts an audience. There's absolutely no question that it makes a difference, because remember, at least on television, it's visual. If you're doing radio, it doesn't matter. They can say what they want. But when you're doing a TV or visual shows like we did, it makes a big difference. I mean,
no, but by that logic, and I don't think that Ken Regan would go for it or Dan Fleetwood, and I don't even think Sasha would go for it. But I know way back when I used to watch, and I know Sasha is a poker player and everything, and I used to watch Poker at Night, and they would have the model that would walk by in between the poker matches and everything like that. But I don't think Sasha wants a model in between the.
No, but since
maybe he'd be open to a model that would walk by in between the discussion and everything. So Sasha would be open to a model.
The chess players, they're looking for the chess moves and the game of the week, or they're looking at Gukesh, who beat Carlsen, and then Gukesh got destroyed in the rapids. I mean, so they're looking at that. You're talking about a whole different cat.
Blitz. He was destroyed in Blitz.
Yeah, Blitz. Okay, right. Yeah, you can just 1.5 out of 9. Boy, that's not something to write home about. And apparently, he's pretty bad at Blitz. So yeah, but that's what they're looking at. They're not. A model would be distracting more so than be interesting for the chess world.
But that's weird, because the Queen's Gambit, the most successful chess production in history, starred a gorgeous
Anna Taylor-Joy. Yeah, she was great in that role, and they obviously had some good producers, because they were very accurate about the cult of chess, because it's all about your rating. When that person goes, she signs up, goes, "What's your rating?" "I'm unrated." "Get out of here! You're a nobody." "I want to play in the open section." "No, you don't."
This is the media show, and there's a big media event on Friday. Superman, the latest Superman movie, opens on Friday. Only a few reviews have trickled out so far, because Warner Brothers is prohibiting people from reviewing it before tomorrow.
Oh, really? Well, remember they got so killed on reviewers by Snow Woke.
So anyway, 2 reviews have trickled out. One says it's terrible. One says it's absolutely great. The writer-director is James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy, who did the Suicide Squad that didn't suck. Suicide Squad 1 sucked. The one he did, the second one, was just great. He does Peacemaker. I trust him to produce an entertaining movie. Though everybody's MAGAs are pissed at him, because he said the Superman story is about an immigrant who comes to America, because Superman comes from a whole other planet, and it's about basic human kindness. And all over Twitter, MAGAs are saying, well, I'm not going to watch that crap with about an image. You know, Superman is from 1938, 87 years ago? And he's always been from another planet.
Yeah,
and he's always practiced both the big heroes for DC, Superman and Batman. Neither of them kill people. They both try to not kill people, which is why Batman always fights the same enemies over and over, because he puts them in Arkham Asylum and they escape, you know, lickety split and cause more trouble because Batman doesn't kill. So these characters have always been about human kindness. And
speaking about human kindness and speaking of media, apparently we had and I'm not a heavy metal fan, but apparently we had a heavy metal performer that ended his career, and as he ended his career, his daughter got proposed to and everything like that. So those are the folks that are watching that are into heavy metal. There was a very popular group called Black Sabbath, and apparently Ozzy Osbourne performed his final show with that particular group, and Kelly Osbourne got engaged to Sid Wilson at this final concert. So apparently he's with a group called Slipknot.
So I think Ozzy Osbourne and his family did a huge amount of damage to America because he got a reality show. Ozzy Osbourne is obviously an idiot, and not only an idiot, but with brain damage from a lifetime of drugs. And nobody in that family, Sharon is not entirely stupid, but most of that family is like the Addams family of semi-idiots. And they got a reality show on MTV that made them hundreds of millions of dollars. And every idiot family in America looked at that and other reality shows and were like, well, I'm obviously on my way to becoming a multimillionaire because look at my family. We're smarter than the Osbournes. Somebody is going to give us a reality show and then we're going to be billionaires. Hence the Kardashians. All these reality families helped convince idiot Americans to vote against their interests by making them think they are just a TV show away from being billionaires.
Good luck, as they would say. Rick, have you seen the Netflix movie called The Waterfront?
I watched a few episodes, but it's too mean. It's one of those shows like Ozark where there are no good characters. Everybody is a murderous bastard.
And did you know that's based on a true story?
No, but okay. Well, maybe I'll take it. That's maybe a reason to maybe dip into it again. But I
wasn't interested in it because I thought it was another just slaughter story. But then
I just came to a great idea from the Ozzy Osbourne, and it actually comes back to Doc, since Doc's here, and he did this pitch show and everything. And I know you want to do more of the talent show and everything, but apparently the Black Sabbath All-Star final concert was streamed worldwide. The historic all-day show streamed globally, and it only cost, everybody listen to this, it's only $29.99. So only for $29.99, $30, you could watch the entire concert and everything like that. So they stream for $29.99. Maybe we need to stream some stuff here. Maybe we'll stream and like a special show, not the regular show, but a special show with Sasha there. Maybe a match between Sasha and Dan Fleetwood, and we'll only charge $39.99. What do you think, Sasha? We'll have a match between you and Dan Fleetwood, and we'll only charge $39.99.
You can probably put in a super special. Let's see, Monday from 12 to 3. It will cost only $9.99. Okay. And maybe you will get probably a couple hundred people.
So here's what you need to do. One of the most famous chess matches in history was when the artist Marcel Duchamp played chess with a naked woman named Eve Babbitt in, I believe, 1968. 1963. They had the first naked chess match.
It's when John Kennedy was killed the same year.
Yes.
Duchamp was a great artist, but he also played on the French national team. He was also a master chess player. He's very, very strong.
So, Sasha, you need to play somebody naked. Doesn't matter if they're any good.
Yeah, well, you can play Jennifer Shahade.
I played the Blitz game against her a few years ago, just before the COVID. There was a quite big Blitz tournament in Toronto, and she was competing with Nava for a first ladies prize. And I played her in the last round, and I won my game, and Nava got the ladies prize.
That's impressive because she's a pretty good player. I don't know her. I know her dad, Michael Shahade, because Michael used to play in the Bermuda International, and I played international just years ago. I never played against him, but I remember he was him and Sunil Raramantri were in the tournament, and Robert Byrne. I got a draw against Robert Byrne. I thought that was great. He did not think it was great. He was the top-rated player in the United States, and I said, "You want to go over the game?" No. He took off like he was mad because I was just a master and he was a grandmaster, top-rated player in the U.S. back then. Writer for the New York Times. He thought a lot of himself, but whatever.
In my younger days, I was defeating Blitz, such grandmasters like Tukmakov, Vaganyan, and several others. I drew my games in simultaneous displays by Anatoly Karpov, Paul Keres, many years ago. So sometimes I can do pretty well in chess.
Yeah.
Has anybody used AI to cheat at chess yet?
Oh yeah, they use computers to cheat, and they get caught, they get banned. I mean, see the problem with computers, the strongest computer will beat the strongest human. So if you get a computer on your side, you have your odds-on favorite to win all your games. So what they would do, Rick, is when the position got really tight and they weren't sure what to do, they'd go to the bathroom. They'd go to the bathroom and turn on their little mini computer and be given a move that would help them win the game, and then they get caught. And one person in the World Open was wearing earphones to somebody upstairs who was running a computer and telling him what moves to make. And he was going by the name John von Neumann. Okay, well, that's a famous
man. Not a good name. Yeah, he's the father of computing.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he got caught because they're going, is his name really John von Neumann? And then they found out, well, let's watch this guy. And he always had earphones on, and they found out his earphones were moving up, going to somebody upstairs who was telling him all the moves to make. So yeah, there is cheating, and Ken Reagan is actually he does our show, is the world's leading expert on catching people cheating using computers. I'm serious.
Yeah, he's quite meticulous about it. And, but there are a lot of devices that are now being used as anti-cheating mechanism. If you can see Grand Chess Tour, they're searching players before they're entering the playing hall.
Yeah, didn't one guy was accused of using some kind of device that in his butthole that buzzed his butt?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
He had to be very good to distinguish between vibrations, which move to play. So there are so many vibrations that would indicate one move, and then other vibration would indicate another one. But you see, what's happening is that whoever would send the signals, he was watching game in real time. So now in many tournaments, they have delay where they show the moves 10 minutes late. So now nobody can do this anymore. So if you're watching the game, say Rapid, never mind Blitz, and it's all delayed 10 minutes, there's no way you can help your visibility.
Hey, Nick, when are we going to get one of these reality shows? I know that we've got Naked at Night, but I saw that there was a Latin lady that got in trouble because of some remarks she made about the Chinese individuals, and she got kicked off of Love Island and everything like that. And I think there was another one that got kicked off for some remarks around the Latin community. So, I mean, whether it's Big Brother or whether it's the Amazing Race or a number of these other ones, I'm sure that you're in Spain. I'm sure you can bring us all over to Spain and we can see how long we can tolerate each other and everything like that. So when are we going to have one of these reality type shows so we can have these moments, kind of what Sierra is going through that just got kicked off?
Yeah, I don't think we need reality shows because we have the Toby, Mark. So the thing is with Jatobi, he lives in his own reality, and so I can argue with Jatobi. So I'm not sure if reality shows fit what we're doing. And again, the whole theory is to keep. There was a guy named Mel Brooks. You may not recognize his name. He goes back a long time. But Mel Brooks had his theory when he did movies to keep the cost low. And then when he put his efforts into distribution, Mel Brooks made out like a bandit. Because what he wouldn't do, he wouldn't just dump a lot of money into a show because I think it was pretty smart. And so he always
thing. And sometimes you can also find celebrities. I was watching yesterday, just for the fun of it, some old reruns. I think I mentioned that I found Two Broke Girls a while ago and everything. And I was watching reruns of Miami Vice and reruns of the A-Team. And one of the last episodes, Rick, you'll love this one. The last episode of the A-Team that I watched in this rerun season and everything was one that featured Boy George and the whole Culture Club. So it was actually an episode where it was a Western venue that wanted a Cowboy George, and instead they got Boy George. So that was the whole episode. But he was the celebrity star, and he had to win over those Western cowboys as they were getting robbed literally for their wages. So that was the whole episode.
Oh, well, it's hard to find good celebrities. The only celebrity I know is in Bangladesh is Dr. Sharif. After Dr. Sharif, I know no other celebrities in Bangladesh.
Dr. Sharif, tell them about this show that you recorded that I'm going to air.
You did a talent show, Dr. Sharif?
Yeah, we just started our global talent show. Definitely, we will invite singer, musician, but I'm not expert of music, singing, or anything. Let's say when I was undergraduate students, that time I do only one co-curriculum activities. I only do debate. Anyway, I was champion in my debate in televisions. Then I go to this Oxford Union and Cambridge Union. We win against Harvard University. And that year, Bangladesh was champion in debating circuit. Bangladesh is very good at world university debating. You can check that Bangladesh is world debating champion, especially IBA and BRAC University. So I'm very focused kind of person. Right now, I am very focused with my research lab and my World Talent Economic Forum institutions. I am not actually expert. I am very impressed by all of your speakers because when I listen, Rick, Sasha, Nick, all of the people have diversified knowledge. You know music, you know investment, you know all of the things. I'm really impressed by your knowledge and expertise and all of the things. I'm a big fan of Pot TV and especially a big fan of Nick. Nick is very interesting person. Recently, we are working with Bangladesh government and declares for a conference. Definitely, we are waiting for funding and everything. That time, maybe I can sponsor few of our colleagues from Pot TV to Bangladesh. You can visit my beloved Bangladesh, meet with all of the top authorities, and help us for some progress. Right now, I'm very dedicated to solve all of the complex problem in our country, but I'm very much happy that I get very good friends from around the world. Pot TV definitely part of these things. But honestly speaking, Pot TV has great future. Great future. Just you have to reach with lot of audience. Because I am personally impressed by your diversified knowledge, your ethics of communications, some point your debate, some point your music and diversified issues. So I always inspire my students. I say, hey, this is online Harvard University. So anything you want, just go to the Pot TV, go to the World Talent Economy. You get a lot of diversified knowledge and everything. So you have great future, Mr. Professor Nick.
Yeah, well, yeah, it does look like it has a good future. But I'm wondering if you have any singers or dancers over in Bangladesh you can send over to me to put together for the World Talent Show.
Yeah, I invite some dancers, some musicians. They will join step by step.
Well, I think singers are better if you have singers than dancers. Do you have people that can sing over there? because singing seems to be better when it pushes on television.
Because Doc,
Yeah,
what was
sure.
the first show? Who did you have on the first show? I know you had a couple people pitching their businesses, but who was on that first show?
First show, we have some people from India, from Africa, and from New York. I have some friends, they are actually basically doing agricultural innovations and healthcare innovations. Especially, they are working with women. So, my PhD thesis based on women empowerment, and women empowerment is a very, very critical issues for South Asia. I'm actually helping, and my PhD thesis is also based on that. We also invent technology. It's called Kokoro for women. I think Rick and all of the people are very. You have depth knowledge for AI, but if you see that basically women data and information is not available in because I do research on women empowerment. I do not find lot of data for women from corporate industries and all of the things. This is because women do not have enough engagement in uh, in business industry as a leader and all of the things. So we should encourage more women to engage with the business. Even Bangladesh also good for that. Our Dr. Mohammad Yunus win Nobel Prize for global peace for Grameen Bank, and Grameen Bank they provide loan for all of the women. They do not provide loan for any man. They provide loan for all of the women. So this is something different. I think that we should focus, but more interesting discussions and dialogues I will bring. But it needs some time. So I plan for 1 year. So every week there are some progressions, and we will bring the cultural things. But economy, try to understand, is a major factor for us. I just want to share my experience. 15 years before, when I attend in the TV show as a debater, and I win each and every round, and I win the final debates. Why we grow these things? Because that time, if we attend in the TV show, I have two other teammates in my team. We got 15 years before $60 from this television channel. So that $60 was very, very valuable for me because for my survival and all of the things. And trust me, I win the debate because if I can win the debate, I will get a job. And finally, I win the debates with my teams. I want to dedicate that things. And that time it was a very big story. Let's say we have the television debate is very popular in Bangladesh, and we win $3,000. Even 15 years before, $3,000 as a champion is a very big money. So try to understand our hungry. We want to attend in the television debate because we will get $20. Okay, that is very important. Even we want to win the debate because we will get a good job. And naturally, after finishing this debate championship, I get jobs. And that is the first time the group of companies sponsor my trip, and they send me to Malaysia and to Europe. So TV is important. Financial value is also important, especially for emerging economy. Try to understand we are not super rich like California, like Canada, like all of the people. We have different backgrounds. So that is the interesting things. That is my dedications for media and all of the things. Long time I do not involve with these things because I was very busy with my career. But after long time, when Nick said, "Hey, let's do it," so I just involved. So we have different culture. Try to understand. Even though any student come or any young people come, and if they get, let's say, even $10, some people it's a very valuable for their life. Okay, so media is interesting. All of the things is interesting, but we have to go with lot of struggle, lot of hard work. It's a different story, completely different story.
A couple of things from my experience as a in my younger days as a musician and show business. There was one story, it was many years ago, 35 years ago maybe. There was a kind of a concert, and there was a girl singer. That's something to tell you about female singers. So she sang 2 average popular songs. And somebody told me that she was paid $600 for just 2 songs. So I knew her socially, so I came over to her and I mentioned that if she would be available to be hired for some other shows as well. She said, yeah, of course, I'm always available. So, but I said, but $600 for 2 songs, isn't it steep a little bit? Remember, it was 35 years ago.
Yeah.
She says in $600, actually these 2 songs cost only $50. $550 cost me to put makeup, my dresses, hire a cab to get to the show. That cost $550. And then the producer came over and he said, Sasha, remember, the female singers are to be seen, not heard.
Right. Yeah, I know. I would agree. That reminds me, because Sasha, you're a very talented piano player. That you could be on the talent show, because that's what we're looking for as musicians on TikTok like that to compete. But it reminds me of my younger days, which wasn't that long ago. I actually hired Palm Beach Orchestra to play at my house in Boca Raton. But I had a very large house, and they had this auction going on, and I won the auction. So the Palm Beach Orchestra came over, tons of people, and I invited 75 people in our pool in our back room to listen to the Palm Beach Orchestra play for the night. So I've done some crazy things back in my younger, more halcyon days. I'm trying to be more sane on a going forward basis. But I think when I looked at the World Talent Show, I think we can pull it off. In other words, it's within reach. The question on piano is getting the music to go through the streaming network.
That's going to be the biggest issue with the talent show in general. Even with Coco's show, we have to run the banner that we are not making any profit. So there is the danger of, with a talent show, them knocking us off of Facebook and some of the other platforms. So that is one of the risks.
We're just going to give prizes away. The whole objective of that is to actually bring up the viewership on the network. And with that, we're at the hour. So we want to thank everybody from around the world, and we're looking forward to coming to Bangladesh, Dhaka. Just let me know when I can go. And we'll see you next week on the Media Show. Bye-bye.